Welcome back to Gierok Farms. It is currently May 4th and the grass is finally growing and it's time for the cows to get on more pasture. We currently just opened up a few gates in the back barnyard to get to the back pasture. They were on the small front for a few days already, and now we're about to throw a couple bells on the cows.
We're gonna put one on right now, and usually I'll put them on the bigger cows that are closer to being dried up anyway, you know, so they're not in the barn so much, because they really bang them around on the stanchions and it gets so loud in here. But it's kind of a trademark of ours we've been doing for 30 years already, being that her family is originally Swiss on her dad's side. So yesterday I seen the swallows for the first time. I don't know if you noticed any before that.
I don't know, there's always birds flying
Well,
around.
there's sparrows in here all the time, which is kind of ridiculous because they're nesting in places they shouldn't. But the barn swallows, I seen one show up yesterday, and now when I was feeding the calves, I seen one swoop around the yard today. So typically they're here in like the last week of April.
Oh yeah, isn't those?
Yep, there's two right there. See, and a barn swallow will eat a lot of insects like gnats and mosquitoes and all these, you know, maybe even flies. But that's what makes them such a good bird. And I don't know.
Well,
maybe
when we're baling and raking hay, aren't they just swooping like nuts?
it's usually second crop, because then the small ones come out of the nest and they're circling the machinery, like hundreds of them at times, which is kind of cool. You know, eating all the stuff that you're working up out of the hay. So anyway, enough of that. We're gonna put this bell on, and then I'm gonna call them and get them to go. And typically the older cows are gonna know something's up when you start messing with these bells. So what we gotta do is you don't let the dong make any noise until you got it on her, or she kind of, I guess, freaks out. It's kind of like warning you before you give yourself a, you know, before the doctor gives you a shot. It's better if you don't see it coming, and the sound is bigger than the bite. But now there are so many different types of bells, and we got a bell video from last summer, I think, or last spring we might have went through. So I'm sure Aaron will put that up there for you guys to look at too. A lot more information about tradition stuff. So there's so many different styles, and this style is actually the loudest that carries the distance. Some of them are a lot prettier sound, they're a little finer sound. This makes more of a clunk sound, and it's the type of steel. It's made out of the shape of it and the size. You don't want them too loose, so they're swinging around too much on her neck. They could make a callus, but you also don't want them too tight. So here we go. I'm gonna put you guys somewhere where you can watch the cows run. Okay, first gate gets opened. See, now this is the gate to the yard here. When we're milking, we don't want them out in the pasture. Boots! 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 They already know. They know that this is something different today. I think you guys almost got stepped on there. Boots! Boots! So we got a gate up open by the silo there. We got another gate up, the upper one up there. This is our main pasture, our big pasture, our big permanent pasture. And then on the other end of this pasture, way in the back, we got electric fence where we're gonna make some hay for first crop, and then we take that fence out and give the cows it the rest of the year. Now she's probably one of my older cows. You know, it just figures the older ones know what's going on. Moose! Moose! Come on, babes! There's a few going the other way. They're not quite sure, but most of them know. See here? She knows. Put you guys here for a little bit. This is actually one of my better days of the year. Really cuts down on the work. We don't have to bed or clean the barn. It's just a fraction of manure. And it seems like the more they eat in the barn, the more manure and stuff you gotta clean up. It goes hand in hand. So when they're eating most of their feed in the pasture in the barn, I mean, I can go a week without cleaning gutter, especially at first. Especially the first couple weeks. So today's probably going to be in the 70s, and it sounds like little chances of rain here, maybe some light thunderstorm stuff. Nothing huge coming through, so should encourage good grass growth. Move! Move! Come back! Move! Move! Yeah, so typically what's happening is that the younger, newer heifers are somehow going the other way, which is okay too. Anything but the barnyard we're okay with. It's actually dry now here in the yard. Just dried off the last day or so. So while he's working those last few up here, I'm gonna go up in the grass with you guys for a minute. You can watch these cows tear into this stuff. There ain't a lot of grass yet, but I think it's really gonna spike up now because it's only been 40s and 50s here for the last week, and even though things got green, you know, the grass is not growing as fast until just now. But what happens is if we don't get them out there soon enough, they don't keep up, and the stuff gets old. You know, by the time you get to the middle of June, or even early June, it's already they're behind. And what they'll do, they'll go explore the whole perimeter, you know, they'll make their loop. And they kind of get tuckered out and lay down, and then probably about 2 o'clock today, they'll start in again. And then the next couple days, their manure will be a little bit looser, and you guys know that grass manure can be that way. It's kind of like eating pudding all day long, until they get more used to it. Very tender stuff. She had to say hello. Yeah, so then he gets them going, because some of them younger ones end up kind of turning back afterwards. They're not sure where we're going. This isn't their normal routine from other years. All right, so there you go. We'll give you an update in the future.